ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat breakpoint, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an anchor. Shock them every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only race with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. POAPs on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana, been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat breakpoint, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an anchor. Shock them every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only race with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. POAPs on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana, been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat breakpoint, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an anchor. Shock them every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only race with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. POAPs on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana, been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat breakpoint, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an anchor. Shock them every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only race with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. POAPs on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Solana Ecosystem call. It is October. It is a great time to be on Salami. We have a fun one for you today. We're going to start this off a little bit different, actually, than normal. We're trying to up the production value a little bit today. I don't know. You let me know if you dig it as well. Unfortunately, AI Chase Barker has been fired. Like the real Chase Barker, he's decided to become a content creator and is now too busy. He's too good for us now. So instead, we have a new intro song. Let's see how it goes right here. Hey, that's me. I am your host, Cash Donda. I'm the Sherpa of Super Team, and I am psyched to be here to bring all the good news that's out there. What do we think of the new video, by the way? Shout out to Alex Scott, fresh on the plane, off a plane from Riyadh. New video is good. Do we prefer AI Chase Barker? What is the move here, chat? I don't know. You will tell me. Wow, so slick. All right, I'm glad that we have at least one fan. Is really all I need. To keep this going. Little Unusual W says Kuga. Shout out to Kuga. And shout out to everybody else. I saw On is here. I saw ZK's from Berlin is here. All my friends are here in the chat today. Listen, in case it is your first time here, welcome. It's good to have you here. It's a nice time to join the ecosystem call. You should know that the secret to this call is actually not me. It's not even all the cool things that are happening on Solana. It is, in fact, the chat. I did a little analysis. I hired a quant. Straight from his MIT PhD program. He told me that 2,291 messages were sent during the last ecosystem call, which ends up being, and this is true, 31 messages per minute on average, which is pretty good. But honestly, those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up this time around. I see Farhaj in the chat. I know he's going to be doing it. I see Tushar in the chat. I know he's going to be doing that as well, because if we are trying to bring the good vibes, we got to increase the good vibes. Last time we created about 56,000. I don't know how the quant came up with that number, but here he did. We can beat those numbers for ants. That's right. There we go. So that is the game. Make sure you get active. Big shout out to all the watch parties around the world. These are photos from last time. We have real people getting together everywhere from like Japan. I don't even know where this one is, but it's a bunch of good looking folks here. I think this one is over in Turkey because I see some Super Team Turkey members. Obviously, we have some folks in India and the Philippines and everywhere in between coming out here. Shout out to all the watch parties. Hopefully you're having a good time over there. If you are watching in real life, actually, I realize that there are children who also watch this call. So I will try to not swear today. That'll be my first time. We'll see if that actually works. But if you are watching live on this call, please join the YouTube stream so you can get involved in the chat as well. Scan this QR code. It'll pull it up on your phone. It's good times. There are going to be some giveaways later on that we're going to put the link into the chat so you can click to it quickly. So I definitely do encourage you to be there. Be like Super Simon, lead of Super Team Canada. Get into that chat. Be like Rishabh. Be like Seriously and Devansh and all my other homies. God, there's so many people I can't even keep up with all. Manuel saw me in his dreams. I saw you in my dreams last night as well, Manuel. It's good to be here with you. All right, so folks, hopefully have now gotten. Pull out your phone, get into here, get into the chat. It's okay, they're Turkish children. Future Mertz, says Nico. All right, well, Mert is giving them much worse than I could ever do. And shout out to my Habibi Mert, now here in Dubai with me as well. All right, and by the way, if you're watching on Twitter, greetings. And yeah, I'm still calling it Twitter. Fuck Elon Musk. I said I wouldn't swear, and then I swore 30 seconds later. On Twitter, you also will need to click into the live stream in order to be able to chat. So go ahead and do that. And please retweet the stream so more people can see this, more people can hear the good news about Solana as we go through. I see it's Ramit's first ecosystem call. Fantastic. That's what I like to see. Let's go. All the newbies here, very much welcome, I got to say. All right. What are we going to do today on the call? We have a slightly different agenda than normal. Hopefully you enjoy it. We're going to start off, obviously, with the wins of the month. Then, assuming she comes, oh, there she is. She's just joined. We're going to have Lily Liu, president of the Solana Foundation, in for a special segment of overrated, underrated, which you guys in the chat will participate as well. Then we're going to do definitely not financial advice, which is a section where I'll go through some of the major themes and topics on Solana right now to get you up to speed super quick. Shipping season for all my builders out there. Super Team is for the builders, obviously. We are so early, which is a new segment that I'm excited about. We'll see how people like that, where we spotlight some up-and-coming protocols. Work to earn, where you can earn some money on chain, and then the closing POAP after that. That is the game. If you are feeling ready for it, Bjorn, thanks thinks that's the best part of the show. Shout out to Island DAO as well. Buggy, I think we're talking on Sunday for what it's worth. Shout out to everyone who's out here ready to go. All right, I think we're already at like 1,000 messages in the chat, so this is good. And sorry, everyone, we must stop. I got to make an important service announcement. Super team, not super team with a capital T, in case anyone has ideas. Please do not do that or you'll be excommunicated. All right, anyway, let's get into it. We're already running a little bit behind. But before we can do that, we have a special new bounty. I want to try this out for the first time. We're going to do a recap video bounty. So you can take any part of this call, any clip, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, maybe even 90 seconds long. It might be funny, all the times that I swear, which hopefully will only be one. Maybe it'll be your favorite segment that's like knowledgeable. Maybe you'll talk about some of the slides that came out of it. I don't know. We want to see the creativity. We'll give you up to $500 for the best videos, maybe more if we get some good ones on earn.superteam.fun. I will personally tweet out the high resolution link as soon as this call is done, so you can get to work if you want to. All right. With that said, let's get into this. I can't even keep track of what's happening in the chat over here. We like the bounties. We like big bounties, and we cannot lie. That's a fact. All right. So our first section of the day. Wins of the month. Nice little sultry song over here. Yeah, like I said, we're increasing the production quality over here. Opening a poly market for whether Cash will swear on this call, says Mattia. The answer is for sure, yes, I will. Because there's so much goddamn good news. You see? So let's start off here with wins of the month. Obviously, we got to start off with this big win. It was the biggest breakpoint ever, but more than that, it was the best breakpoint ever. I've been to 3 so far, all due respect to the prior ones, but this one just blew it out of the water. I think for 3 major reasons. Number one, just impeccable production design. The venue was gorgeous and easy to get around, easy to stay in the mix. Big shout out to Ellie, Amy, Asia, and everyone else on the Solana events team who made that happen. Second big thing, the agenda was bangers only. 5-minute talks, debates instead of panels. Some would say the greatest opening speech of all time. That last one's a joke. Major shout out to Akshay BD and Lily Liu, who don't get enough credit for the work that they did on the agenda. Hours and hours and hours of calls went into that. And then third, the reason it was so great was all of you. 6,000 people came from around more than 100 countries, many of them flying more than 10 hours to get there. The Solana community showed up, and it really showed. If you were at Breakpoint, throw me a little W in the chat. And by the way, if you were not at Breakpoint, throw a little L in the chat if you had some FOMO over here. Okay, yeah, a lot of the ecosystem call faithful was there. I see my guy Ghost, hardest working man at Breakpoint, arguably. Kay was really out there with Venta making it happen. The Jambo keynote was probably the greatest meme I saw. I think Maurice said, yeah, they are professional. One of the guys is a professionally trained K-pop singer and dancer, which is pretty incredible. All right, that is a big one. The second win of the month here was one of the major announcements from Breakpoint, which is Fire Dancer is live on testnet, and Franken Dancer, which is a version of Fire Dancer, is live on mainnet, which is a big deal. Fire Dancer, in case you have not seen it, is an alternative validator client, which helps improve the resiliency of the network, right? More client diversity is good for decentralization. But more than that, it's fast as, I almost swore again, it's fast as heck, I would say. Right now, in production on the testnet, it's doing more than 88,000 TPS, which is just kind of mind-boggling when you think about it. That is, 2 orders of magnitude more than Solana can currently do. Massive improvement, fast as heck. Give me a little fast as heck in the chat if you're excited about Fire Dancer. This has been in the works for more than 2 years. This is promises made, promises kept. Going to be a big deal to ensure that Solana can actually scale to consumer and global scale all around the world. Cash almost spilled it. That's right. All right. Fire Dancer was a big announcement. There was another big announcement. I mean, there were many, many big announcements, but another one, win number 3 of the month. Sky, formerly known as MakerDAO, is coming to Solana. Folks, I have a little bit of a confession to make. I was not always a Solana guy, largely because I got into crypto before Solana existed. But when I got in, there was really 3 protocols that ran a DeFi, and MakerDAO was one of them. They have a decentralized stablecoin, formerly called DAI, now called USDS. And they are big. There's no other way to put it here. Sky's TVL is about $8 billion, which to put that in context, Solana's TVL is like $6 or $7 billion, right? So it is very large. They make $185 million a year right now in protocol fees. They are just massive. And now they are coming to Solana as well. I'm excited about this for 2 reasons. First, it's great to have more DeFi over here. They're going to be able to take some of that treasury, invest it into Solana RWA protocols and other protocols. And number 2, they're going to be adding a bunch of DeFi incentives, which hopefully kicks off even more activity. That's pretty great. Solana, the handle, shout out to Magellan. Were there any announcements at Breakpoint? Didn't see too many. Folks, if you missed the announcements at Breakpoint, by the way, go watch the YouTube. The content team did a fantastic job. Everything is on there. It's pretty fantastic. Shout out to Sky and to Wormhole. But it's not just Sky, and it's not just MakerDAO that's coming to Solana. It feels like everybody and their mothers are coming to Solana these days, as Solana is becoming the chain of choice for top teams. So this is an incomplete list, but just in the last 30 days, we have Ambient Network coming in. Shout out to Caro and the rest of the team over there. It's a deep network for environmental data, is now coming to Solana. Power Ledger, which is doing cool stuff in the deep energy space. Reown, formerly known as Wallet Connect, is coming. Most people know them. Huma Finance leading the way on PayFi. Unlonely, a base app that is now coming over here for like social and consumer reasons. It's pretty amazing. And many, many more. I am old enough to remember when it was a risky decision to build on Solana, or when people thought it was a risky decision to build on Solana. It is now becoming clear that it is a risky decision to not build on Solana. This is where the users are. This is where the liquidity is. This is where the energy is. It's a lot of great stuff. And it's largely due to all the people like you who make the ecosystem so irresistible that people can't stay away. Bring your dads as well, says CK, and he's not wrong. My grandma's on Solana. People are bragging about different family members on Solana, and I love it. But it's not just top teams that are coming to Solana right now. Liquidity is flowing in as well. Last month, Solana had more net inflows than all other chains combined, which is a pretty big deal. People are excited about Solana, and they're putting their money where their mouth is, bringing on over here. This is the fun chain loved by everyone with an asterisk, because there's a few people that don't love it. I don't know, maybe you saw it on Twitter recently. You can let me know in the chat if you know some people that don't love Solana. But shout out to Artemis and Solana Floor. Solana Floor just has great news, by the way. Shout out to them for the insight over here. Solana. Outside of that, Deepin continues to crush on Solana. This is one of my personal favorite kind of areas in crypto, creating real value for real people in the real world, using crypto rails to do so. And Solana is the home of some of the most exciting Deepin projects around. Just in the last few months, we've had Helium, which is now more than 13x'd their offload subscribers. For those who don't know, other networks like T-Mobile can offload when they have excess kind of demand to Helium now. And that's being used pretty heavily. I think it's something like 3 petabytes of data that they've used over there. Fact check me in the chat, which is pretty amazing. Hive Mapper, with their dash cams, is growing twice as fast as Google Street View, which is incredible. And there's a bunch of new projects that are worth checking out as well. We have decentralized CDNs, Pipe Network, I think it's called. Decentralized ISPs, shout out to the homies over at Dawn. Power plants like Power Ledger and Sourceful, who we'll talk a little bit more about later. Crowdsourced ML models like CrunchDAO, and many, many more. There are real usable products that you are going to be able to bring to people that are maybe not so much into the speculation side of crypto, but want to participate, want to be able to earn on chain. This is the place to go. Shout out to all of them for making it happen. The inflows from other teams from other chains is just beginning. That is a fact. I think it's going to get a little bit stronger over time. Win number 7. The Solana Mine virus is starting to take over elsewhere. The SVM, the Solana virtual machine, is kind of like the engine for Solana. I'm enough to slow down. I make no promises. We have no time. I'm going to try to end today in 60 minutes. God help me, inshallah. The SVM is like the engine for Solana, right? It's the thing that makes Solana so fast and useful. It's got a bunch of different innovations in it that make it happen. What you really just need to know, it's the engine for Solana. And now that engine is spreading outside of Solana mainnet to other places as well. This is one of the big takeaways from Breakpoint. There are a bunch of great teams who are pushing SVM adoption elsewhere. So you have Atlas by Ellipsis, a Solana native team. Shout out to Jerry and the gang over there, building an L2 design for DeFi. They used to have an order book here on Solana. They're now expanding out there. Soon SVM, which allows you to build using the SVM on top of any layer 1, not just Ethereum, but also Ton and Cosmos and everywhere else. And then Eclipse, which was the first Ethereum SVM L2. This is really cool to see. Hopefully this creates more talent density around builders for the SVM. And honestly, this is a grow the pie kind of thing. More people using the SVM means more good crypto projects and good layers. I'm excited about it. I hope you are as well. Sorry, I was laughing at the chat here. The next one here, win number 8. Solana teams are eating well. Last month, we talked about how Solana is a place for building real businesses because you can get real scale over here. 6 different protocols ended last month with more than $1 billion in total value locked. Total value locked is one of those metrics that's harder to game, right? Because like either the money is there or it's not. Things like daily active transaction or daily active wallets might be bots, might not be, but TVL is TVL. That's real. And it's not a perfect measure, but it is at least one measure to understand scale and trust in some of these systems. So shout out to Jito, Camino. So Jito, which is a liquid staking provider and MEV client, Camino, which is a borrow lend platform, Jupiter, which is the everything exchange, as people might know, Marinade, one of the first around liquid staking tokens, Radium, and Sanctum as well. I think every team in this list has been on the ecosystem call prior. So have you been coming to the calls? You would know these teams before they got to $1 billion, except for Radium. We got to get Radium on here somehow. But shout out to all of them for making it happen. Big TVL energy, says JustX. Cash moving so fast he types his mind down. That's right. All right. Win number 9. The next chapter of Solana Mobile is here. People have been asking when for a long time. The first edition of Solana Mobile was an award-winning phone. Maybe not the best awards to win, all things considered, but it got the ball rolling, and that's the important piece. After something like 10,000 units there were more than 140,000 pre-orders for the Chapter 2. Now we know it's called the Seeker device. I'm excited to see where this comes. It's going to ship next year, so there's still some time here. But I like the fact that we're taking these kind of big bets in the Solana ecosystem. We're trying things that no one else is trying, seeing if we can make it work. The Seeker has a bunch of cool features, offers rewards, has a great dApp store, and many other things. You can pre-order right now on solanamobile.com, and you will notice that there is no referral link there because I forgot. Let's just be honest about it. All right. But yeah, you can go check that out if you like. Shout out to my guy, Cryptic, in over there. Crypto University. Should I read your message or listen to you? Do a little bit of both if you can. My friends in the Ukraine, I love the energy, but please stop spamming the chat. But I see you over there in the Ukraine. Microwave, the meetup there looks like a banger. I saw some photos as well. One of the many watch parties that are out there. And it's 70% later than the OG phone, Mr. Unique is telling me in the chat as well, which is pretty great. The final win of the month is one that's close to my heart, obviously. Shout out to Super Team Singapore. Can I get a little Super Team in the chat if you are a member watching this right now anywhere around the world? This is our, I think, 16th Super Team, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of great teams are in Singapore, including Sanctum and Jupiter and many others. And we're really trying to turn Singapore into kind of the hub for Solana in APAC. There's tons of capital there, tons of great builders. It's kind of centrally located where more people can go. Here's a little bit of alpha for you. If you are a founder in APAC and you are raising a pre-seed, a seed, or a Series A, you're going to want to go follow Super Team Singapore. They got something very nice for you coming. So go follow them, be the first ones to apply. I don't want to say anything more or Nick Tong will strangle me. And he's a muscular guy and I'm very scared of him. So I got to make sure to be careful there. All right, Ukraine, please stop spamming the chat. I appreciate the love, but please chill out on the chat so we can see some other things happening here as well. All right. Shout out to Nick Tong and SG Builders and this beautiful mural that got made as well. All right. Oh, there was a question saying, Mr. Unique saying, no, I'm crossing my fingers that it's lighter. That I don't actually know. All right. I'm glad we have some fact checks here. Welcome to Super Team Singapore. All right, folks, that is it for wins of the month. There are probably some others that we missed in the chat. Let me know what we missed. What else did we miss here? Welcome to the fam. Let's see. Any other wins that we missed? What do I mean by chill out? I just want people to be able to see other messages in the chat besides just Ukraine. Hey, we love the Ukraine. Shout out to the Ukraine. But we want to see some other messages here for everybody's sake. We will have to start putting some people in timeout if they just keep spamming this, which apparently is the thing. Helios's ZK compression, that is coming up in a little bit. That is definitely one of the wins. Play Solana, not out yet, but very exciting, a gaming device that I think is going to make it very cool to use Solana out there. Solana is on fire. I missed love. Sorry, that might be true. First PayFi Summit was a W, says K in the chat. Shout out to PayFi, to Human Finance, Venta, and the rest of the teams that put that one together. That's pretty great. Fire Dancer, of course. Wormhole Sigma is coming up. People are kind of spoiling my thunder here a little bit. I shouldn't have asked here. This is it's too much. All right. Anyway, we're gonna get going into the next section because I'm already behind. Who would have guessed that I'm gonna go long here? All right. How are the deadlifts going as June? We don't talk about that around here. All right. Sorry, Raj, if you're watching. Okay. For our next section, I want to bring up a very special guest. She is, in fact, the president of the Solana Foundation, but she does much more as well. She was one of the key people behind Breakpoint this year. So if you had a good time at Breakpoint, Lily's one of the people to thank. And more importantly, from my bias perspective, she was a critical supporter for Super Team from the very beginning. When it was just kind of a random bet and no one really knew would it work or not work, Lily was there, had some faith, and now obviously has been helping us expand across the world and make it happen. Please drop a little GM in the chat for Lily Liu herself. Lily, how are you doing?
Hi, Cash.
Rumor has it you are in Liechtenstein, which is maybe a racist way to say that. I'm not sure against who. How is the conference treating you? You've kind of stepped away to join the call here.
Cash, there are children watching. You should really watch your language and your reference. Okay?
I make some promises, but not too many. I can't. I'm typing, I'm reading, I'm trying to do all these things at once. And I have a bit of a filthy mouth. And I'm not alone in that, by the way, Lily, I will say. Anyway.
So Liechtenstein, this is the first time I've ever gotten out of the car in Liechtenstein. So I thought I should come. I've only driven to Liechtenstein because it takes you about, I think, 5 minutes to drive across the country. And it's between Switzerland and Austria, and it's a city-state. So here we are.
Here we are. All right. And now we're here in the ecosystem call, which is nice and global. So it's a nice little change of pace. And we're going to play a little spicy, hopefully, game of overrated and underrated. Are you ready?
Now, okay, I will disclose that when we were talking about the agenda for this, Cash had a very interesting way of presenting spice levels. Okay, I was like, what are you talking about? He says, all right, Lily, do you want Caucasian spice level, East Asian spice level, or do you want South Asian spice level? And I was like, you're going to break that down for me. So
I literally chose, for what it's worth, mostly the spiciest of the categories with one Caucasian spice. All love to my Caucasian friends, but the spice in India is a little bit different than it is in Pakistan.
Now, the truth is going to come out about you, Cash, which is that everyone's hearing it here for the first time, and everyone's going to be shocked. Cash cannot eat spicy food. All right? There.
Lily, it was great having you. I will see you later. It was a pleasure. Thanks for coming out to the call. No, I'm just kidding. One of my friends in Nagpur are going to be judging me right now. This I don't love. I'm going to feel, I feel so small now. I'm going to eat some peppers next call just for fun. Not actually. I immediately regret saying that. I got to think before I speak.
I'm still reeling from that information, Cash, that you can't eat spicy food. I don't know what to do with that.
People are going to disown me in India. So why don't we move on before more bad things about me are revealed by Lily over here. All right, let's get into, Cash going to get banned from India, says Thomas. He's not wrong. All right, let's go into overrated, underrated. Let's start here with the Caucasian spice one. This is the easier one here. Breakpoint 2024. And chat, I want to hear it from you as well. Breakpoint, is it overrated or underrated? People are saying one of the best crypto conferences in the history of crypto conferences. How do you think about it, Lily?
Well, I'm going to say I don't like to talk about things that I was really involved in, right? Because that feels like talking about your own bags. But I think Breakpoint was actually underrated. Even with all of the love that we've gotten from the industry and everything, I think it's still underrated because I think kind of what happens with Breakpoint every year is people get like these impressions about what's happening in Solana from their friends, from Twitter, from the super team ecosystem call. And then there's that kind of time of the year they come and see for themselves, right? And so last year when it was in Amsterdam, that was, not quite a year after the whole FTX nuclear fallout disaster. And so a lot of people use that one to kind of like, sniff around and be like, is there proof of life? And that was like proof of just crushing it. A lot of people were really impressed by that, right? And so I think this year was not just, or way beyond proof of life, but like, it's called like proof of authority, if you will. I don't know, you can make up proof of, but kind of just to be like, all right, all the things that people think about Solana, like it's happening, people are really building, there's cool products, a great developer community, people are focused on actually building things that are useful for people. That's kind of like the suspicion. And then you want to confirm that 10 times over, right? But then what happens after that is then you kind of build off that momentum. So anyways, I think Breakpoint is underrated.
I like that. Do you have a particular favorite talk from Breakpoint?
Obviously, our opening talk, Cash.
I was hoping you would say $20 coming your way in your wallet very soon, Lily. For anyone who
do I get like a Travala discount for that or something?
That is a story for another day. Folks, a shout out to the fine folks over at Travala for hooking it up. All right, let's go to a slightly more difficult one.
I think we should give a little bit of kind of like behind the scenes storytelling on that talk. Remember our rehearsal the day before and like the looks of great concern from
Akshay BD, who is an Indian man turned Caucasian after watching our first version of it. The color just drained from his face as we did not know what we were doing, really.
And then Ariel, Megan also were like sitting there, like, we're here to give you feedback in your talk. We're like, that's great. And the feedback was they're kind of like, you got to fix the entire thing.
Yeah. Have you thought about doing a real talk instead of just kind of giggling on stage uncontrollably? That was their main feedback.
Yeah. They're like, well, you've got about 8 waking hours to fix that one. So.
Which we pulled it off. For folks who don't know, we practiced that talk literally one time, 15 minutes before we went on stage.
Correct.
But I think it works out. People are saying Solana is you in the chat, which is true. It is all of you on this call right now. Shout out to everybody putting that in. All right, let's go to the next one, which is overrated or underrated the US elections from the perspective of crypto. Obviously, they take up a lot of kind of mind share. The market's potentially moving depending on which candidate is ahead or behind. Overrated or underrated? How important are the elections for us?
Oh, I cannot overstate that. So I got to say underrated. It is so incredibly critical for the crypto industry at large. So I won't kind of like go into all the things that I kind of think about this. US, most important regulatory regime, deepest capital markets. We all know that. Actively hostile towards crypto. In case you're wondering, you've probably heard of Operation Choke Point. There's 1.0, 2.0 still in progress. And over the last few months, the only thing that has changed is that people want to fundraise from crypto people. And so they'll still do the same things, right? Because it's still the same people and the same policies. And we all know that those things can actually change if people want to. So if you remember, there was the whole ETH ETF thing, and it was it was, first of all, 10 years of no on the Bitcoin ETF, at least. And then there was years of no on the ETH ETF until Ryan Selkis, good friend of ours, good friend of mine for a long time, shook Trump's hand on stage. And then suddenly everyone, the 36-hour cycle was like all about crypto. And they're like, political fundraising. People were like, I've heard that people in crypto donate money from time to time to campaign. So let me go talk to those folks. And that was the only thing that changed, right? That was it was just a verbal messaging and nothing in actuality. So we know what we're getting right now. And it's like, it's a clear binary choice when it comes to US elections and what's going to happen with crypto from policy perspective in the US. That's my
Is there anything that you recommend people do? Just get out there and vote or organize? Are there PACs or anything like that you support?
I mean, we do NFA, and we're going to adapt that today to NPA, not political advice, right? So, do what your heart tells you to do, and also use your head over your heart from time to time. And that was, I think, Indian spice level, right, Cash?
That was indeed the Indian spice level. Right. A lot of the chat was saying overrated, but I think you made a pretty compelling case that, as goes the US, goes much of the rest of the world.
Totally underrated. It is purely binary. And also I've noticed a couple of people who are influencers in crypto saying, oh, I talked to someone in the campaign, they've changed. Whoa, that's like Stockholm syndrome, guys, on a major level, okay? Those are people who have been sitting under the fiery breath of the NYUFS dragon, okay, and being like, it's different now. Okay.
Yeah, believe it when we see it, I think. All right, that's the US elections, folks. Get out there and vote. Figure out what you can do to support pro-crypto legislation in the States. Let's go to the next one here. There's another one of the spicier ones here. Overrated, underrated venture funds. And for people who don't know, Lily actually has Anagram, which is a venture fund itself. Our venture fund...
Anagram is not a venture fund. It owns a venture fund. Anagram is holding company. Anagram Ventures, yes, that's a venture fund. Venture,
Anagram Ventures, yeah.
100% overrated. Okay.
What is Hasib going to say now? That's the real question. Yeah, why are venture funds overrated?
We're friends. We've made up with Hasib. He's kind of like he's in the recovery program for Ebola. But
glad to hear he's getting better.
Yeah, no, I've loved Hasib. yeah, for a long time, right? He's a great guy.
Very smart guy.
So venture, why is it overrated? Because there's like the whole Ebola kind of paper that I think Yash wrote, the whole blog post. But essentially, what crypto is it's a liquid market, and venture takes locks up funds to do pre-seed and seed typically, but then they've raised very large funds that can really actually only be deployed in size with liquid assets. And yet they are not really allowed to, oftentimes, to deploy in size of liquid assets, especially some of the older funds that got raised a number of years ago, right? So essentially what that means is there's like the private side, the public side. It means, in my opinion, there might actually be an over allocation of capital to private, and it's locked in as such, right? Because it was essentially kind of invested a number of years ago, kind of like 2020, 2021 was when it was invested in these funds. A number of those funds have to deploy according to that strategy. And I think there's probably, just compared to the actual sort of amount you can take down into private crypto deals, probably a little bit too much.
Got it. Yeah. So liquid funds could be well into the future. There was a great debate as well at Breakpoint. For anyone who hasn't seen it already, you can go check that out on YouTube. But venture funds overrated from Lily. That's great. Oh, and here's Yash's banger piece on Ebola that I typed with my mind as well. People should go check that out on Twitter. All right. Let's go to the next one here, which is overrated, underrated network states. This is, of course, Balaji's idea around kind of the future ways that people will organize, founding moral innovation. Overrated, underrated, Lily?
Underrated. Definitely underrated. Yep. I'm sitting here in Liechtenstein, which is another small, call it city-state, principality, very small jurisdiction, looking to punch above its weight. And there are a number of those, right? Even if they're not kind of currently defined as a nation state in a number of countries. So like, special economic zones is another name for it. So it's kind of like special economic zones, let's call it the 20th century characterization of it, network states, maybe 21st century characterization of it, and kind of like the crowdsourcing of various ideas as to how you build a special economic zone where now it's maybe there can be much more activity there because people can have all sorts of ideas in the cloud, in the digital world, the network world, and then find ways to progressively instantiate those if they are deserving. So I went to Network State as well. The conference was on Sunday after Breakpoint. We were all zombies, but still managed to make it, listen to a number of the talks. I highly, highly recommend folks to, after you get done spending 8 hours watching all the Breakpoint talks, then spend another half day listening to the Network State talks. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Vitalik talked about Zuzalo pop-up cities and what they learned with a number of these pop-up cities. They would do them for, I think Zuzalo was a couple of months, and they did a number of like Zoo Thailand and Zoo, city for like 6 to 8 weeks. Really cool. And if that comes to a blockchain, another blockchain near you, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Would be too surprised. People check it out. And in particular, please do watch Akshay's talk. Akshay BD gave a talk on Super Team that I was supposed to give, but I was doing other stuff. And so shout out to Akshay for going out and crushing that talk.
Other stuff, eating spicy food.
Yeah, I tried eating a pepper the night before. Wrecked me for the next day. Yes, a pepper. That's what it was. All right. I think we have one more here, which is overrated or underrated non-USD stablecoins.
Overrated right now, definitely.
I have to agree myself, but yeah, tell the people why is it overrated?
Well, just the use case for non-USD stablecoins isn't there yet, right? So in the world of, let's call it stablecoins, you've got there's trading versus commerce, and everyone knows in crypto right now the number one use case by far is trading, speculation, right? Up to you whether you think that's good or bad. That's just what it is. And when it's about trading, then you want to have unified liquidity, and unified liquidity is going to be dollar-based for obvious reasons. So until there is meaningful commerce in on-chain payments and just goods and services, those are the things that have to be denominated in whatever that fiat currency is. So that is actually what we hope to change with PayFi. So the whole thesis behind it is payments on chain, the whole real economy around goods and services, and even kind of the extension of that into the kind of bring more liquidity into the fully digitally native market for goods and services. That is probably going to have to be denominated more in fiat than in US dollars. And in my opinion, that consumption is what's going to be driving demand for non-US stablecoins. That, and of course, regulation. Because what's going to be happening now in Europe, it's a hot topic here in Europe and Liechtenstein especially, which is about MiCA compliance, right? So MiCA, new set of regulations, and one of the impacts that's going to have is that exchanges in Europe are going to have to only support MiCA compliant stablecoins, dollars and euros, by the end of the year. And so that will probably drive some demand for euros. But generally, you know, there just isn't enough sources for demand for on-chain uses of non-USD stablecoins. But I think that's going to change over time when you actually get consumption on-chain and payments to settle that consumption. And I think the only place that's going to happen is Solana. And so then I think once you start to have that, then you can probably have enough stock of non-US stablecoins that we can even start to get into FX markets and all the cool things you might be able to do with FX markets on chain. So I think that will open up a whole area. I'm excited about it.
So maybe overrated for now, but not forever. I think something, it's like 95% plus of all stablecoin volume on chain is US denominated stablecoins.
Yes.
But hopefully that'll start to change going forward. PayFi plus Solana for the W. For folks who don't know, Lily herself was the one who coined the PayFi term at a talk in Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty great stuff. I see Nick Dukoff saying FX markets. I think that's very exciting. I know Jupiter is excited about that with their GUM initiative, and many others are, Perenna, and a bunch of other people working towards a multi-stablecoin future. All right, Lily, I think that's about it. Can we do like one like rapid fire one that's not on the slides here? Overrated, underrated vegetables.
I mean, this is like a pure setup. Obviously overrated. Obviously overrated.
This is my favorite Lily take, is that vegetables are overrated. You don't need to eat any of them.
I think that they are. I just think they're optional, right? I think people are totally obsessed with leafy green vegetables, right? I think they're fine, right? But people talk about leafy green vegetables as if they're like the panacea for everything, and they're just not. And then they talk about, like, how do we turn food into just colors? Leafy green vegetables and red meat. I mean, you think about that characterization, it's almost like we're kindergartners and supposed to identify food by color when it isn't about like nutrition and quality of food. And so it's supposed to be science and it's just colors. So leafy green vegetables, I think, is too much of a meme. And I think red meat is a wonderful, beautiful thing. And it's unfairly denigrated.
I got to say,
Brian John, thank you. I would say the perfect meal in my mind is steak and eggs.
Just straight, no change.
Yes,
this is why burger is a thing.
Specifically, truly a mean vegetable.
That's my favorite take. Folks, do not tell your moms, your dads, your parents about this if you're younger, you know, or if you don't want to eat your vegetables, just tell them Lily said I don't have to. That's the new rule out here. All right, Lily. Any final words for folks? Where can they find you online?
CALILYLIU. The CA is for California. That's a story for another time. And CALILYLIU. Don't blame me. Created the handle back in 2009 when the world was different.
Go follow Lily for more spicy takes on Twitter. Lily, thanks so much for coming out and for all the good stuff that's happening at the Solana Foundation.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy. Ebola, eat bags of leafy anything. This is the anti-Ebola. All right. Cool. Lily, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. All right, folks. Was that fun? I enjoyed that. I thought overrated, underrated is great. Lily is great. Hopefully you all enjoyed that as well. But please do not blame me for your dietary habits. I am still in the eating vegetables part of my life. Steak and eggs is a perfect diet for Solana Manlet, says John Wong. Shout out Basil. Yeah, Lily is genuinely very base. That is a fact. All right, folks, we're going to keep it moving. We are behind time, and I am trying to end on time, and I probably will not. Surprise, fucking surprise. Surprise, surprise. So here we go with a new intro to an old segment. Yeah, a little bit of a rock feel to it. In this section, my job is simple. I am here to give you reasons to be bullish on Solana, but not Solana the token. I have no idea what's happening to Solana the token. Hopefully it goes up, but I have no idea whatsoever. But I'm here to give you reasons to be bullish on Solana, the network, because before it is a token, it is actually a network, folks. And so that's what I'm going to go through here. This is definitely not financial advice. This is definitely Cash's calls is another wing that we could call this. Shout out to Chris for coining that. But yeah, we have some fundamentals of things that are happening on the network that I want to make sure that you know about, some products, some trends that we've seen over the last month. So here's the first one. Solana is the network that keeps on getting better. It is kind of crazy, but it is the fact that some other ecosystems, for ideological reasons or for lack of technical abilities, are not able to get better over time. And Solana really is getting better, and you're seeing it in real time right now. We talked a little bit about Firedancer. 88,000 transactions per second on testnet right now, with mainnet coming soon. But it's not just Firedancer. We have Sig by Zyndica announced a bunch of major milestones that they've crossed. This is a third alternative validator client, which creates even more client diversity, even more resilience for the network. 5 times faster than Agave, written in Zig. Shout out to the Syndica team for that one. We have Overclock. Shout out to the homies over at Overclock. Known those boys for a while. Put out Mithril, which allows you to verify Solana with lower hardware requirements. So you can make sure that the chain is honest and trusted from your home or from the cloud without having to run a full node validator, right? This helps more people understand the network and get the transparency and trust in it. Of course, we got to mention ZK compression or state compression, which brings down the cost of state on the Solana blockchain by more than 1,000x. Big shout out to Helios and Light Protocol. This is live on mainnet today, folks. This is not some white paper that, in 2035, it'd be really nice to have this compression. No, this is alive today. And in fact, they're sponsoring a hackathon side track. So if you're building it or interested in building on it, go check out the docs there. And then we have Metaplex, who believe in this future of digital assets everywhere. They launched Aura, which is a decentralized indexing and data network for Solana and the SVM. If you, like me, believe that there's going to be just an order or two or three of magnitude of more assets on chain, this kind of decentralized index is going to be really important. We saw this already with compressed NFTs. When you have a lot of assets on chain, it can be hard to make sense of all the data. All of this is happening on Solana, which means that Solana is continuously getting better. It is already the best, most performant tech. That is just, perhaps it's a cash fact, we might call it. Cash facts, the best kind of facts. And it's getting even better every week, which is pretty great. Plus 10 million Aura as well. That is exactly right. Big facts, says Super Team Germany. Okay, that's the first one. The next thing that we're seeing happen a lot on Solana right now is that the institutions are here on Solana. Solana is quickly becoming the chain of choice for a lot of institutions. We've talked in the past about Visa and Shopify and many others that are starting to build here. In the last month, we got some really exciting news. The first one was Franklin Templeton. They measure their AUM in the trillions, folks. The trillions with a T. To give people a sense of how big a trillion is, 1 million seconds is like 11 days. 1 trillion seconds is 33,000 years, right? Like that's the scale difference. So like trillion might seem like, it's just one number or one letter different. No, it is like much, 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 much bigger. And Franklin Templeton has that kind of scale. They are launching a money market fund on Solana. That's right. In addition, we have Securitize coming on chain. They've already brought nearly $1 billion of value on chain elsewhere. They are now adding native support for Solana, again, powered by Wormhole. Shout out to Wormhole. They've been all over the ecosystem call, helping bring more folks over. And then this is a section, Lily, if you're still on the call, you should close your ears. We have some new stable coins that are come on as well. So Societe Generale, which is one of the biggest banks in Europe, introduced the Euro CV, which is the first MiCA compliant stablecoin issued by a bank. MiCA was the regulation that Lily was talking about earlier that sets a framework for how banks and organizations kind of engage on chain when they're issuing stablecoins. And then we have Coins.ph. Shout out to my APAC friends, everyone at Super Team Philippines and beyond, is bringing a peso stablecoin to Solana as well, which hopefully will help power remittances and many other things that are going on over there. There's a lot of thought that Solana is just for meme coins or Solana is just for degens. That is wrong. That is just not true empirically. And you're seeing it right here that it's a place for meme coins and degens. Yes, of course, but also for institutions on the other end of the bell curve. That's what makes Solana so great, is that it's good for everybody. Because when you have tech that keeps on getting better, a lot of people want to use it. Cash facts, we can adopt this. Yeah, cash facts. I don't know if that's a compliment or not to cash facts. Here's the next one. Over the last month, we saw a bunch of changes that is making life better for Solana developers all around the world. We have Phantom launching embedded wallets with 0% fees. Phantom, which has 7 million monthly active users back in May, which was the last time we could find data here. They're now launching it so you can have embedded wallets in any dApp that you build, which makes the UX just that much silkier, that much smoother, especially for new users who maybe don't want to figure out all the seed vault or seed phrase kind of things, right? Sphere, shout out to Arnold and the rest of the Sphere team, introduced SphereNet, which makes universal settlement as fast as light in an almost literal sense. It's a permissioned SVE on top of Solana, but it's a new place to build. If you're building for payments, this is a really interesting place to consider, right? Taking advantage of a lot of unique things about Solana. Then, of course, we have Jupiter. J for J in the chat for any of my cadets who are watching right now. They rolled out Metropolis, which is the most powerful set of liquidity APIs for prices, for swaps, for a bunch of other things. To date, developers on Solana have earned more than $100 million using Jupiter APIs, and they just turbocharge those. So if you are building in DeFi, you now have these APIs to use, which are effectively free, fantastic to use. Really highly recommend people check that out if you're building in DeFi. But that's not all. We have Archeum. Shout out to Julian and the rest of the boys there, deploying computing environments on MXEs, which allow basically for confidential compute, which is really useful for healthcare and a bunch of DeFi applications, AI models, contributions to data, and many, many other things. It's a whole world of new on-chain products that you can build on top of Solana using Archeum if you're a developer. Hardhat is a Chad. Shout out to Or, who shipped Steel over the past 30 days, which is a modular framework for writing Solana smart contracts, which just makes your life easier as a Solana dev, which is what we're here for, right? Make life easier. And then, of course, we have GameShift by Solana Labs themselves. For anyone building games, it just makes it way, way easier. You can easily integrate it into your existing Google Cloud backend through that partnership. And it gives you a bunch of new features, including easy on-ramp and off-ramp powered by CoinFlow. Shout out to CoinFlow and the rest of the team there. So bottom line for this slide here, if you are a developer and you want to be able to do a bunch of things with relative ease, building on tops of the shoulders of giants, Solana has you covered. The better the developer experience is, the better products that we get, the more users that we get, the more liquidity that we get, the more institutions that we get, and the cycle continues from there. So developer experience is genuinely a moat for blockchain ecosystems, and Solana's got a great one. Here's the next one. Now listen, folks, I'm not particularly proud that this is a big deal in crypto, but it is a low bar, quite honestly. What we've been seeing increasingly on Solana is that you can actually use Solana in the real world. This is what it looks like when you build for users and not just podcasts, right? You end up seeing projects like Cast, who did a big giveaway in the last ecosystem call. They launched the Cast Solana card, where you can earn up to 18% rewards on your spend. And you can spend your stablecoins in more than 100 different countries. Shout out to the partnership they did with Super Team. The UAE helped to drive that one forward, where every Super Team member gets a Cast card as well, which is pretty sick. Cast, I see some love in the chat for, very much necessary. Shout out to Sanctum, which unveiled the Cloud card, which is a Sol debit card powered by Jupiter and the Base app. This one is super cool because you have LSTs that are earning yield, right? Liquid staking tokens. So you stake your goddamn Sol, as well you should. If you haven't, stake your goddamn Sol. You can use that yield to spend. Then you're just spending the yield without ever having to sell your Solana tokens or your LSTs. This is a super cool initiative. And then shout out to the homies at Squads, Stepan, Garrett, and the rest of the gang over there. They launched the Fuse Pay card, which is a self-custodial debit card connected to your Fuse wallet. Super cool as well. So all these different ways, if you are earning on-chain using Super Team Earn or DPIN or anything else around the world, you can now use that money in traditional finance world, when you're buying your groceries, when you're using Apple Pay. And this is really cool, right? Because Solana is excellent for payments, and payments is a giant piece of the world economy. On Solana, you're trying to be able to use that. But it's not just cards. Shout out to Travela. They've integrated Solana payments for booking flights and hotels. They've moved their AVA token to Solana as well, or expanded it to Solana, I should say. Sling, which is just a killer UX, enables cross-border local currency payments in 75 different countries using Solana. And so does Helio, which launched Blinks for Shopify and a checkout flow for token creators, already used by more than 6,000 sellers worldwide, and those numbers are going up. Bottom line here, Solana is a network that has tech that you can use in the real world today, not 5 years from now, today. Amazing products here. That's what we like on Solana. Products, products, products. White papers are beautiful. I got nothing against white papers, but I much prefer a product that adds real value. And then the last one here, last theme that we've seen over the last 30 days, the future is going to be mobile inevitably. There are many more mobile users around the world than there are desktop users. And that's what we're seeing on Solana starting to adopt that. We talked a little bit about Seeker, Solana Mobile's new phone, right? But we also heard at Breakpoint from Jambo, who, as previously mentioned, had a crazy dance routine. There's live violin and all this other kind of stuff. But all the theatrics aside, James and the rest of the team are killers. They shipped Jambo Phone 2, which is priced at just $99. This is a crypto-enabled phone using Solana Rails along with other ecosystems as well for just $99. So anyone around the world can start earning on chain and can use it at an affordable price point. I think this is super, super cool. And then we have Play Solana, which is coming up, not out just yet, but it's going to be coming out next year, which is a handheld gaming device with a built-in hardware wallet. So you can do all your Solana stuff on there and play your games directly from there. Super simple. I see that they're in the chat right now. Shout out to OXJ and the rest of the gang over on that side. I think this is all very cool. Also on the mobile side, we're seeing apps starting to come out that are easy to use. So Jupiter is launching Jupiter Mobile. They announced this at Breakpoint, which will be the easiest way for you to on-ramp and for new people to start using Solana. We have Drip. Big shout out to Vibu and the rest of the gang over there. Drip for iOS and Android, now in open beta. The UX is just like silky smooth over there. Really great, showing a non-speculative use case all around creators, collectibles, and content. And then we have Photo Finish, which is a great game on Solana. They've given back $7 million in race prizes to users. You're able to get these kind of digital horses. They have a partnership with the Kentucky Derby. They are now live on the App Store as well, built on Solana. So as you can see, the future of Solana is going mobile, getting more Solana into the hands of real people around the world. Only Chads, says JustX, and that is not wrong. All right, I have 9 minutes left, so I'm going to cut this section off, but that is definitely not financial advice. But hopefully, I mean, you tell me in the chat, are you feeling bullish on Solana, the network? Give me a little bullish in the chat if you're feeling good about where Solana is going and all of these products. I mean, this is like 20 or 30 things that I saw. I can only get Kudus in my hands. Oh, I actually can't show that. Shout out to Kudus, the wellness app as well. People starting to feel bullish, some W's. I'm seeing plenty of bullish here. We can get all of these up onto the screen as well. All right. We have just 2 or 3 quick more sections. I'll try to fly by this so we can end on time. Need the ecosystem called live stream from Seeker, inshallah. All right. First section up here is that's my favorite of the little intro songs that we made here. This is for the builders because Super Team is for the builders. Put that into the chat. Over the next month, there are like literally 20 plus places where builders around the world can get together. In addition to all the watch parties and the coax that are happening, pretty incredible stuff. Solana is truly global and coming into the real world. Tell me another chain that's doing it like us. Nobody's doing this right now. Few things to note. First one, the Radar Hackathon put on by Coliseum is ending next week. Folks, you got to participate in this. More than $600 million has been raised out of teams from the Solana Global Hackathons. This one put on by Coliseum, Radar. A bunch of great stuff is happening over there. I don't have time to go into it all right now. Coliseum.org/radar. Get your submissions in, folks. It is the best way to learn, right? So even if you don't think you're going to win, you should build for it so that you can learn in a concentrated way. You get some distribution, get some capital, maybe get into Coliseum's accelerator as well, which is pretty great. Oh, and what's this? In addition to more than $500,000 of main track prizes, over on Super Team Earn, we have more than $300,000 of side prizes as well. So even if you have not started building yet, and maybe you can't build a full-on venture scale business just yet, go check out the side prizes. There are chances to earn $300,000 plus working with awesome protocols like Reclaim, Merc. I can't go through all these. They're all great. And I love them all, so I don't want to pick any individual ones. I will say a special shout out to Solflare for any Super Team builders. Use Solflare in your demo. And you'll be eligible for that demo day prize. That's a really easy one that you can start to integrate, and I think it's pretty great. Some love for Super Team Earn over here as well. That's what I like to see. Big demo days around the world. Next, one last thing. Super Team is for the builders. If you are participating in the hackathon, we have a bunch of resources that will help you dominate. So go to hackathon.superteam.fun to check those out. In particular, there's a demo video script that I think would be useful to a lot of people. That's the main way to submit this time around. All right. Beyond that, Super Team's not done. We're still helping more. We have the Co-Hack series coming through Chris and the Superhost Network here. IRL co-working sessions all around the world in partnership with Coliseum that allow you to meet other builders and critically find your first users. They say that one of the biggest benefits of Y Combinator, which is an accelerator based in the States, is that it gives you a bunch of people to sell to and a bunch of partnerships to be made. This is what the idea behind part of the COAX is as well. So go check those out, app.getriver.io. And then, if you are serious about your startup, highly recommend that you apply to the Solana Labs Incubator The deadline is tomorrow, so you got to get onto this very quick. But in the past, teams like Sanctum have been in there, Espresso Cash, Shaga, Juicer, excellent program. Iman from Solana Labs is running it himself from January to April 2025 in person in NYC. Everyone should apply if you're serious about your project. 24 hours, folks. So you got to get on this one quick. For the builders, if you want to come join me and Alex Scott and Mert and many, many others here in Dubai, come, Habibi. Come quickly because the Founders Villa is starting next week. I think it's like 97% sold out. So there's really only a few spots left for the third week. That'll probably go by pretty quick as well. I'm giving a talk on Monday. So if you're there, come through. If you're in Dubai in general, come through. You can hang out over there. And then if you're a researcher, maybe you're not a builder and you want to become one of the top 1% of researchers on Solana, go check out the Turbine Research Program. This is a really cool one. I get questions all the time of like, hey, I'm not technical. How do I actually get more involved in Solana and level up? Turbine does excellent developer programs, and now Turbine Research is here to document the cutting edge. October 22nd, December 7th, turbine3.com. Go check that out. And then finally, someone already said it in the chat, the Wormhole Sigma Sprint starts October 14th. This is a $1 million prize pool, folks, for people building cross-chain apps. They can build, or I should say multi-chain apps, excuse me. They can leverage Solana and Wormhole. This is a pretty great one. I hope everyone checks it out. All right. I'm running so far behind on time. I got 4 minutes and I got like 8 slides to go. So I'm going to go very quickly here. Inshallah, we have a new section, a section I'm a little bit nervous about, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Get a little bit hyped up because we are so early. Basically, one of the things I've noticed about this call that I've always wanted to improve is that we spend a lot of time talking about the best teams, the biggest teams, right? The teams that are shipping things that everyone needs to know about. And we don't get as much space to be able to show some of the up and coming teams. And so every month going forward, I want to spotlight a few teams. And what's really cool about each of these teams is that they want to kind of reward your engagement with some incentives. So you're going to get some giveaways coming up in just a second. The first team to shout out here, oh, and I should say very clearly, none of this is an endorsement, folks. All of this is just a way to kind of help put more things on your radar. Do your own research before you engage with any of these protocols, obviously. Going on. The first one here, Carrot. Carrot basically simplifies DeFi. We've seen a few products out there like Lulo, Camino Finance has some good stuff here that allow you to kind of navigate the complexity of DeFi a little bit more simply. Carrot has a fresh take on that. They have a yield-bearing token. So now what they'll do is they'll take your USDC, your stablecoins in, and they will redeploy that to 5 of the top protocols, rebalancing as often as every few minutes to make sure that you are always getting the best yield on your stablecoins. And what's cool here is that you can hold the Carrot token in your wallet and see that value go up. So you still have kind of custody of that asset. This is super cool. Some carrots in the chat are always appreciated. They've only been out for, I think, a few weeks or maybe a month or two. Already crossed more than $4 million in TVL. And the Carrot token itself, which started at $100, is now up to 101.39, 8.3% real-time APY. And again, they're going to automatically find it. This is a great way to make things easy. As Kay is saying in the chat, JSB and the team are great. That is a fact. I'm sure there are many other things here. I see we have some rabbits in the chat as well. How is it different from Lulo? The difference here is largely that Lulo, you deposit into their vault. Carrot, you get to keep the token in your wallet. I'm not saying one is better or worse than the other. I think a lot of people know about Lulo. I think not enough people know about Carrot. You might be able to use your Carrot token in DeFi as collateral and so on and so forth. So you get some additional potential use cases over there. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, sign up right now. Carrot is giving away $3,000 to viewers of this call, and only to viewers of this call. So up to 50 people will get randomly selected to get up to $60 of Carrot each. And maybe we'll see what else they can do on that side. Don't tell Lily, though. It's a veggie, says Alex. He's right. We'll get the link into the chat as well. So you can just click on this link, add in your wallet, and they will send you over potentially some tokens. What other calls are giving you money for watching them and learning? I think that's a pretty cool thing. Learn to earn happening here on the ecosystem call. Shout out to the homies over at Carrot. Next up, we have Devin. Devin was all over Breakpoint. Many people would have seen them. They are unifying the $1 trillion wine asset class, which I think is pretty cool. Basically, there's two sides to Devin. Winemakers can attach the VIN token to their bottles. And then when you get the bottle and you open it, you uncork it, you scan the bottle, you'll get those tokens, and you get this digital cork, which is an NFT. What is in it for the winemakers? Well, pretty easy. It is the data to know when is their wine being drunk, how many bottles are actually left in the world, where you might be, and how you actually might be using it. They can retarget you in the future. So it's a way to benefit from your data where you're in control. And if you're into wine, I think this is pretty cool. Devon's also going to be launching some marketplaces for very rare and exclusive wine. The team behind it has decades of experience in the industry, and I think that is pretty cool. I've said for a while, I'm most interested in the long tail of RWAs, right? Not just treasuries, but whatever else is out there. And Devon is bringing wine on chain in a big way. Here you can see what the app looks like as well. And they are giving away 50 bottles of champagne to folks who watch this call right now. So you can scan this QR code or click on the link that is in the chat in 3, 2, 1. I don't know where the link is. If you're having trouble with any of the links, you can join the Solana OGs Telegram group. We'll share them in there afterwards as well. You can click on that link right now. 50 different bottles are up for grabs if you are of legal drinking age, obviously. So talk about liquidity. But you can tell I'm a father with that kind of joke. All right. The last one over here. Okay, nice. It is working now. The last one to shine a little light on here is Sourceful, which is accelerating the renewable energy revolution. I like Sourceful and other projects like it because it goes beyond, it creates real value in the real world, right? It helps address kind of large scale societal problems and coordinate and align people in a way that is really best done with crypto level incentives. So basically, Sourceful has a hardware device, a miner. They also have a software program, but they have a hardware device that you can connect to your home and start to give energy back into the grid. And you create this kind of virtual power plant. They're relatively new. You can see that these are a bunch of their spots across Europe already. They have spots in America and elsewhere. I believe they ship globally. And what they are doing is trying to help ensure that there's more renewable energy that goes back into the grid. So if you have renewable energy yourself, sell it back to the grid. It's good for you. You'll get some tokens. It's good for the world. Help support times when there's extra demand as well. No Berlin yet, but I think Zcase might just change that. Super team for the world. And they are doing a 25% off on their Sourceful mining device. I think it's about $120. You get 25% off of that right now if you use this link just for people on the Solana ecosystem call, which is pretty cool. If you want to be at the cutting edge and try to give back a little bit, experiment with some new DPIN, experiment with new ways to kind of help the climate, let's just say, this is a great way to do it. The last really fun fact about this, by the way, it's built as a Helium subnetwork. We talk a lot about composability in like DeFi, but I think it's interesting to see the way the teams are able to collaborate. So if you have a Helium miner, you can also mine Sourceful rewards with that, which I think is pretty sick. So shout out to all of these teams, to Carrot, to Devon, and to Sourceful for doing these giveaways and these benefits for the Solana ecosystem called Faithful. All right, we are past time, so I'm going to keep flying through. We have one more section before we get to the POAP. Work to earn. Oh, that was even more sultry than the first one, actually. Shout out to Work to Earn sound person. Folks, if you're interested in Cast, we talked about them a little bit. They have a $3,000 creator competition bounty for making a video in a Twitter thread about them. That's pretty good. You can show yourself using it in the world, explain how it works, or do many other things. Let your creativity shine. $3,000 up for grabs over on Super Team Earn. There's also a $3,000 project up. If you are a developer and you know a little bit about Rust and you want to write unit tests for our friends over at Codago, this is the place to go. Codago is an AI platform. If you're building for the hackathon, you might consider using it as well. It'll help generate production-ready Solana code for you using LLMs and other type things like that. You need to implement a comprehensive unit test for Solana programs with 100% test coverage. The person who does that will get $3,000 for their time, which is pretty sick. And finally, on the job side, there's a job over at Pith, the Oracle provider. Shout out to Mike and the rest of the gang over there. They're looking for a business developer. If you are a professional yapper like myself, this might be a great place for you to go. Identify partnerships with protocols and strategies to drive adoption. The last thing that I got to say, BDE, oof, that was a close one. All right, I did not say it that way. Don't include that in any of your clips. BD Energy. And as a reminder, if you are looking for Solana native talent, there is no better place than Super Team Earn. We're getting 50,000 unique monthly visitors to that site right now. 42,000 registered users, verified profiles. More than 150,000 visits to it. So if you need talent, that is the best place to find Solana native talent, bar none. Give me a little W in the chat for my Super Team Earn fans, please, as well, for folks out there. All right, folks, that is going to bring us to the end of the call. I did end only 4 minutes late. That's not bad. In the past, it was like 15 or 20 fucking minutes. So this is a little bit better. Please, respect the timing I did. I think that Lily's outing me on my spiciness took up at least 4 minutes. So I blame her for most of that. Nice. Lots of W's in the chat for Earn as well. Folks, you can actually go ahead and scan this QR code right now to get this beautiful POAP. Shout out to Srijani, best artist on Solana, who put this together. Just make your wallet beautiful. That's what I got to say. W's flowing in the chat. You can scan this right now. If you have any problems, we'll get back to you. I hope that you enjoyed this call. If you did, I can tell you it's even better with friends in real life. I think we did 80 watch parties across 5 continents for this call right now. So almost no matter where you are in the world, there's probably a watch party. And if there's not, you can apply to host one and we will help you cover the costs, because this is how the Solana community gets together in real life. Check this out. Shout out to Chris from our side who helps run this. And if you haven't already, joined the Solana Ecosystem OGs Telegram group. We'll do a bunch of stuff to help out. If your code is not working, for example, you do need to scan this code with your camera, not with Phantom, in order to do it. Cash is himself spicy. That's why I don't need to eat spicy food. That's right. All right, folks. That is it for us here. That is the end of the Solana Ecosystem call in October. God damn. That was a good one. We've had a few good ones in the past. This one was particularly good. What do you guys think? This was a fun one. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. Hopefully you're leaving amped up, feeling good about the future of Solana. I know I am. It's been a crazy 30 days, and the next 30 are going to be even crazier. Shout out to the team that makes this all happen. Srijani, who produces this call, Chris, who helps on all the IRL events, a little unusual, who made all those little animations that you saw. Great to use if you knew them as well. That is it. I will say this. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Goodbye, everybody. I will talk to you very soon. Mwah.